Hi again.
Hi, we're back.
Okay, I wanted to just kind of do some thoughts on James Murphy recall. I was just responding to a letter to the editor in the Crofton Journal, July 6, 2023.
It's up to you to look them up, who wrote it.
Okay, I'm just going to pull apart one of the statements. It just says there's currently a recall against Councilmember James Murphy. And they said here, one of the reasons James is being brought to recall is for questioning the whereabouts of the grandsons, and the former police chief has promised the city to pay for Officer Miller wages and 2 cars. Okay, so first I was just gonna say that was never in my reasonings, though it did come up with a few people were upset that James was getting after Carter quite a bit for that. But it says one of the reasons for James being brought to the recall was because of that. Nothing to do with that.
That's false propaganda right there. We'll show you, and we'll tell you what reason why we're doing it.
Okay. You can read my statement in the June 22nd Crofton Journal paper. But it's a statement just said, Murphy's been consistently inconsistent, one time to save himself and not save Crofton thousands. High-risk CPA did not vote in 2022 to fix the roads. He's had no opinion in important matters and did not vote or show up for the meetings. He's in support of firing John Carter, chief of police. His defense statement says these allegations against me are false. I did not support the hiring of a social CPA firm. I have only missed 2 meetings in 2.5 years, and I did vote to spend all the street funds allocated for streets to improve them. And he said you can call him if you have any questions.
We won't give you a number. You know you
can just look it up.
Yep.
All right. So
and
I just wanted to go through the
Just say here
statements.
in there. I think is a word says all in there. Just remember the word all.
Yeah, and saying the whole thing was false.
All false. Just remember those statements, okay?
Okay. So there was just a couple of things. I'll start out with the some of the 2022 regular meetings. I know May, it was a May meeting. I know James was bringing up and talking about wanting cement on the roads, and I don't see any meetings where they ever agreed to putting in any cement anywhere,
or even any bids. And my question is, with bringing up the new mayor, where is the bids for the concrete, and why isn't he so adamant to have concrete with the new mayors right now? Last mayor was adamant. Now this mayor, he's being quiet, not say a word about it. That's a question I'm kind of wondering about.
Yeah, in one of the meetings, August 1st, 2022, the mayor re-proposed, which means she had already proposed it, to have the council consider H&L's bid to do some of the streets that need to be fixed. She said H&L can still come. The maintenance personnel was fixing some potholes, but she said we can address this in a later meeting. And I know Pites had even tried to bring it, Mink had tried to bring it back up and get them to vote on this H&L, and they wouldn't even take a vote on it to have them fix the roads that were in disrepair last year, so they're more in disrepair this year because we had a really rough winter. So those are just like 2 meeting examples. It was in May and August. And then so I had talked in here about James not standing up to not save thousands by hiring a CPA and not having an opinion on the important matters or show up for the meetings. Yeah, he only missed a couple of meetings. I'll read to you one of the meetings. Was a special city council meeting Monday, October 31st, 2022. So Councilman Evans began the meeting. In the absence of the mayor, the council could conduct the meeting pro bono. Councilman Mink and Evans, chairman of the council, should run the meeting. So Evans called the meeting to order at 8 o'clock and took the roll call. Present council members were Evans, Mink, and Pites. Councilman Murphy was absent. they went ahead and had the motion for hiring this CPA. And I know down here it said, the community members were asking why would we hire a CPA, and the council's already had an earlier meeting and agreed to pay the state audit. Chair Evans said the CPA would look closer into things the auditor may not. Another community member asked how much the CPA would cost. While Chair Evans didn't know how much yet. It ended up costing us $20,000. Just so you know.
And they complained $3,000 for the
$4,000 for the election.
For election.
3, 4, yeah.
And in the meeting, Bob Evans pushed it, but shame, we have $4,000, but they never, he has $16,000, $20,000 sitting right there with the audit, which was a witch hunt.
Yeah, because it says again the CPA would do a more detailed job. Ended up that audit was not done by a CPA, and we ended up having to do a state-funded audit, which cost I don't know how much, but a lot. I'm sure because at least 16 to 20,000 on that. So let's see, and then. They did go ahead and vote, and it was passed. But just my beef was just that Murphy was absent. He just didn't show up. And then they had the meeting again, and then Cheryl vetoed it, and then they had the meeting to undo the and go ahead and follow through on it. And he just didn't show up for these meetings, and I didn't appreciate him not having an opinion. We didn't know where he stood on that.
And like I said, I'd like each councilman to at least have opinion to tell the people where they stand on certain issues, that we know where they stand.
Okay, so the CPA audit, he didn't agree with the CPA audit, but he also didn't stand against it. I talked about the roads in 2022 not getting fixed up on how bad they're getting out there. And then I also stated he supports the firing of John Carter, Chief of Police. Okay, so he's saying that all these allegations against him are false. Well, they're not necessarily false, because now we've gotten rid of both our officers. And I have an email from James dated April 24th, and I had written to him, and I said, please do not get rid of our police force. We need our police presence in Crofton. Do you have a replacement? We can't go back to having no police in Crofton. There was crime in Crofton when no one was in place. Thank you. James Murphy responded back, good afternoon, Carissa. As of right now, I have no intentions of getting rid of Officer Miller. I guess he changed his mind on that one. Bob Evans is currently visiting with the agency to find Carter's replacement. Hadn't happened yet. Good luck on finding somebody. If you look in the paper, there was ads for Lincoln, who can pay a lot more to their officers, by the way. So if Lincoln can't even find officers, how are we going to find officers? So he said, please let me know if you have any other concerns. So, if you wanted to see this email, I can show you later.
And my thing is, I don't care if I'm a liar. But James, make me a liar. Get John Carter back. Get some estimates on the concrete roads, and what else should we do on it?
We can't go back on the CPA.
Can't go back on the CPAs, but at least explain why you're for or against it, at least. I don't care if you make me a liar. And you're insurance guys, James. Insurance company, and we're from the country. Man's word is gold. So make me a liar. Vote to get the cops back. Fight for the cops to John back. I know you blame John for the audit, but yet, this just don't make sense to me. And the people who written this article, I would like to have an apology or something, because we're getting tired of this. And if you have one lie in that paper, is all of it a lie? I think most of this is just a propaganda tool to get people sway their minds. People of Crofton, do your research. Be open-minded. and pick out the lies. We have proof. The people who read this article, do they have proof what they done? Can they bring papers up like that?
Maybe part truth.
Part truth. Part truth is still a lie. So we please people who that wrote that article, bring proof of that. The people who wrote the article, they didn't go to the courthouse and pick up the papers. And we don't know them, so.
Yeah, and so they're telling us our intentions for the recall had to do with the grant. I mean, I guess I was a little annoyed that he was, pushing John hard on the grant that he kept saying is coming through. And it did come through, by the way. But I guess it's just, don't put words in my mouth if I didn't say them. I mean, I may not have said things perfectly, and may not say things perfect in the future. But, these things are our opinions, and we have every right to, by the law, to go ahead and file these recalls. And obviously some people agreed with us. So we'll see on election day, if anybody else agreed, but it is what it is. We have every right, as citizens, Nebraska set up a way for us to, present our grievances against an elected official. So I guess to me, we're spending a lot of money here, more money there, 20,000, 4,000. I don't know. It just kind of.
So people think the 4,000 big sin, but they can get away with paying 16,000, 20,000 for audit, which it was a witch hunt for the former mayor. Guys, does that make sense logically?
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yep,
this is
thank
our
you.
opinion, and you can do what you want with it.
Yep,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.